Hi guys, on this channel you have heard me speak many times about resilience and mental toughness. Today I'd like to explore the idea of overcoming obstacles, bad habits that we have, maybe even addictions that we have to fight and overcome. And on this channel we talk about subjects like mental toughness and resilience, as well as things for your personal security and personal improvement. Consider looking at the videos recommended after this video. So we all have bad habits. We all have things that we wish we didn't do. Sometimes those bad habits can turn into perhaps addictions. We might have a propensity toward alcohol or maybe even drugs. We might have been taking drugs as a prescription, but we found out we started to depend on them a little too much. We have food addictions, we have sexual addictions, we have desires that tend to overcome us, and even if we don't like them or if we're bothered by them, we find it hard to say no. So how do you overcome certain things that get in the way? I believe each of us possesses a mind and a will that is strong enough to be able to say no and to maintain that. However, I also understand human nature. Human nature is we seek comfort, we seek pleasure, we seek things that we're comfortable with, and we also use these things to deal with the hard parts and stresses of our life. It's an escape. To overcome these things, we first have to find something to fill its place. For example, let's just say that you feel like eating or you feel like drinking. So then if you want to eliminate these things, bad diet or bad habits, then you should replace it with something that in a certain sense counteracts it, gives you a rush and dopamine, that gives you a high as it were, but as well replaces the bad behavior with a counter good behavior. For example, you eat too much junk food, so start eating healthy. And that also takes discipline, because in order to eat healthy you have to work hard at making healthy food preparation, healthy food choices. Or if you drink too much, perhaps you want to find some other thing to drink as a replacement. Start drinking tea and coffee. I have a coffee addiction, but it's better than a vodka addiction. And some people tend to drink too much and they can't control themselves. Another thing is become a connoisseur and not a drunk if you have an alcohol problem. For example, let's say that you drink light beer or a commercial big name brand. Say that you have a propensity to drink a six-pack or a case at a time. Well, how about you get a six-pack of a microbrew and only drink one and savor and sip it, because that's what microbrews are designed to do. You are to savor the taste, is to be enjoyed and not as an end in itself to get drunk. Or perhaps you want to cut out alcohol altogether. Well, then you perhaps want to start doing something else, and fitness is a great way to counter a lot of these things, whether it be drugs, alcohol, sexual addictions, overeating. If you get stuck in a vicious cycle, the best way to get out of it is to do something that counteracts and is the direct opposite of that. And physical fitness and working out is a great way to overcome that. The second way to overcome that, without getting too religious, but as a Christian, I must say, the best way is to turn to God. So you replace the one bad behavior with a good behavior, and you also turn to God. You also talk to others about your struggles, and they can help you and advise you and comfort you in your struggles. These are all ways that you can overcome bad behavior and even addictive behaviors and get on with your life and find perhaps some good addictions. Now obviously there's plenty of things. Anyone can be addicted, as it were, addicted to anything. What we like can be an addiction. I mean, but is it really, if we like it, is it really an addiction? If I like, for example, to have beer, a microbrewed beer or fine wine, is that really an addiction? Am I a drunk because I like to have fine wine and enjoy it, or a good beer? No, of course not. That's not an addiction. And of course the key to anything is, since everything is for our use, is to use it properly, to keep it in perspective. A good gauge of that is, can we live without it? It's not, do we have to live without it, but can we live without it if we had to? So the question is, can you live without alcohol in your life? Yeah, I can. How about you? Can you do without that chocolate cake, or that cheesecake, or that deep fried chicken or French fries? But then you got to stop and ask yourself, do I absolutely need it? Is it that important? Or can I find something else to replace it with? To say that you need it is not fine, but to say that you don't have to have it, even if you did want it, that is the way to control your behaviors to the point where they do not become addictions and problematic. Oftentimes when we have these obsessions or these bad habits, we fall into them simply because we are bored. We have nothing better to do and we don't know what to do with ourselves, so then we aimlessly suck down a six-pack of commercial beer while being a couch potato. We aimlessly feed our mouth because we have nothing better for our hands or our mouth to do, and we are not engaging our brain. We look at silly pictures on the internet, or even sexy pictures on the internet, because we have nothing better to do with our time. So the idea is to stop making excuses and to initiate a change. And I'm not going to shine you on. Some of the things are going to be very hard to overcome. You are going to struggle with those things, and you are going to also fail in your struggle. And the key is to get back up off the ground, dust yourself off, and keep on going. So for starting new habits, good habits, working out, you're going to want to not get up on time. Other days, you're going to eat that donut you shouldn't have eaten. Drink that glass of wine or beer or liquor that you shouldn't have done. So there are going to be failings at times. Keep getting on yourself, motivating yourself to affect that change and to make it habitual. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't. Let me know what you think. Give a comment below. And don't forget to share with your friends.